So this is a video. This is part two of what Deku was in Sweet Home, or My Hero Academia took place in Sweet Home. So, guys, I just got to episode 8 of Sweet Home, and just say if you've seen the Sweet Home, it's a lit season. It's amazing. It's a really good TV show. The last is I'm not gonna do any spoilers, but sometimes the CGI does go a little bit rocky or weird. But yeah, so basically, after this, I will be uploading What If Deku Was a Predator Part 3, and I also will be uploading What If Deku Had the Omnitrix Part 4, I think. Yeah. So let's get into it. So I last left off for Deku. I last left off for Deku. Everybody went back to sleep, or got on their journey. So I last left off for Kirishima and Denki were basically in the gas station they were posted up in, and they went to sleep, boarding up the windows. Now, guys, last time I just said monsters, but now I'm gonna literally, feature the monsters that were actually in Sweet Home and make the, fights difficult, not make them so easy like zombie stuff. So yeah, so let's get into it. So Deku basically goes out hunting the next day, when Bakugo and Ochaku are asleep. Deku goes out there with his trusty katana and pocket knife and gets out there. Now Deku's wearing this outfit right in the picture, and Deku's walking out, walking into the forest area. Deku's walking around and he sees that it's something in the background. Deku's confused, and out of nowhere, he sees a huge amount of arms or something run straight for him. Deku dodges it and looks up, and he sees some sort of creature with long ears, eyes, and like something weird with it. Deku dodges the first couple attacks and gets a clean cut or a clean hit on it, cutting the top part of its head off. Deku's confused and, is confused by the monsters and falling down to the ground. The monster looks at Deku, pits the remaining, the bottom half of his head towards Deku, and pretty much seemingly just smirks just a little bit. Deku's confused and also very, tripped out right now because this monster just took a decapitation or brain cut straight. Just a clean brain cut, and how is he still alive? Deku sprints off immediately, sheathing his katana while he's ready to get more momentum to run faster. But the monster is chasing him, and also in longing his arms to try to catch Deku. Deku is confused and starts, noticing this monster's abilities. Deku tricks the monster, loses it for a second, and gets under some leaves, and not under some leaves, near, a ditch area covering his mouth. The monster walks by, and Deku noses and, you know, proved his experiment that he wanted to test out, that this monster responds to noise, and it only attacks noise. So Deku immediately, obviously knowing what the monster relies on other than sight, is hearing. Now Deku, hearing or smell or touch, other senses humans or monsters have other than sight. So Deku starts tiptoeing back to the base, making as minimum noise as possible. So Deku gets back to the base, closes the doors, and the base is actually soundproof. So yeah, but they only can talk, a normal, inside voices. If they yell, they're mainly going to get the monster near their base. But they keep on yelling repeatedly and blasting music, the monster is going to get there. So Deku walks in there, all, frightened, and tells Ochaku and Bakugo about the monster and how it responds to noise, that I cut off its brain part of his body and its eyes, going with it. So pretty much, um, they start talking about it, and we switch on to Bakugo. We switch on with Denki and Kirishima's story. So we get the Deku. We get the Denki and Kirishima. Sorry guys for the noise. So Denki wakes up, in the morning when the sun comes up and gets up on his feet. Denki grabs his pocket knife and his gun. Now, Denki has a handgun that is painted in bright yellow, and he painted a lightning bolt symbol, or didn't really paint. He scribbled a lightning bolt symbol on it with a Sharpie from the convenience store they were parked up into, the gas station they were parked up into. So he grabs his trusty handgun, and he grabs his pocket knife. So he gets out in the back. And they already made like a whole entire den or like gate near the back of the gas station. Now they're surprised because they checked the day, like the couple of days that were posted out there, and the place still had gas, but they have no cars. And also they and also Kirishima thinks a car might make too much noise and might attract too much monsters and get us in trouble or get us in danger. So Denki, being Denki, says, we need a car to get out of here. Maybe it's some place or some safe zone from these things. Denki says, there's no safe zone from these things. And before they could say anything, they get an Amber Alert. Amber switches to Todoroki walking down the street with his family, getting an Amber Alert too. They answer it as quickly as possible, muting their phones so monsters won't get near them. And they see that it's an Amber Alert about pretty much a world globe pandemic, that all people should stay in their houses no matter what, out of no circumstances, stay in their houses. And pretty much Denki, Kirishima, Deku, and Bakugo and Oshaku, pretty much all our three stories, all three main characters of our side stories see this. So they obviously don't. Denki and Kirishima obviously don't leave their gas station. Bakugo and Ochaku and Deku don't leave their area, and Todoroki and his family are still on the walk. They're just trying to find a more secure area. So they're walking and they see, it's getting dark. So, in the area it's getting dark. It's not like nighttime yet. It's like 6 something. So pretty much they sprint off and they find an area. They find a nearby pretty much military base. And not no guys, I'm not gonna merge the stories in this fast in part 2. So it's not the same military base that Deku was living in. So they go to the military base, and it's like a long storage area. So they close it up, they lock it up, and they go through the area trying to find if it's monsters in there or not. Todoroki, being Todoroki, sprints off in there with his katana and his bow staff in the back of his backpack, and pretty much walking around. Now you already know this is what Todoroki's wearing, and his haircut is now like this. He doesn't have the long, short, banged haircut where he had in canon. So pretty much, Todoroki sprints off in there with Dobby right next to him, and his other brother and his sister together. You know, um, he's scanning the rest of the building. Now, their weapons, they have katanas too, but each of them have handguns that are in a blue casting middle. So Todoroki just has a katana and a bow staff, nothing else. Dobby has a flamethrower like originally, and also he does have a machine gun. So yeah, so pretty much they're sprinting off left and right, and they stop. They stop out of nowhere. They look up and they see that It's a huge monster. If you haven't got to episode whatever in Sweet Home or you just don't care, just skip like 15 seconds. Or just skip until this picture is off the screen if you don't want to see what monster they're going up against. Unless you get to episode 8. If you don't know what the huge, ginormous monster is featured in episodes before in the episodes all the way up to 8, um basically it's a monster that is like Abominable Hulk type of levels. Like it's freaking huge. And I said freaking, not that other word. But yeah. So basically it's a gigantic monster and it has like like a very bloody grin or some sort of stuff. So pretty much Todoroki being the Todoroki says nah and sprints off, and Dabi follows as well. They start sprinting and sprinting, and the pretty much monsters following them left and right, sprinting after them. Pretty much they stop losing the animal hiding behind a plane. Now, I forgot to mention this, but this is a storage area, and they have a bunch of stuff in here. Planes, cars, and millions of guns, bazookas, stuff like that. It's a military base. So pretty much, Todoroki being Todoroki finds something and grabs a flamethrower, a traditional flamethrower. So Todoroki sprints out of there, throwing this flamethrower up into the air, shooting some ice at it, pushing it farther, making Dabi shoot a fireball at it, blowing it up on the back of the head of the pretty much giant monster. Now we switch back to Deku's story, where Deku and Bakugo and Ochaku are walking down the street. Now, they're hunting again, but since the monster's out there, they want to take it down so they don't have, something, tormenting them. So they're hunting it down, trying to find where it is, and they eventually find it. So they see that as just wandering around the pond, getting fish from the pond, just focusing on the noise of the pond. Now, Bakugo tests out if the pond's blocking out his noise, and it is. It's blocking out the noise. And now this pond, or there's a river, more or less, this river was connected to a waterfall that was making a lot of noise, blocking out the monster's hearing, making the monster only hear the waterfall. So Bakugo, being Bakugo, sprints over the waterfall and not, splashing in the water at all, sneakingly tiptoeing towards the monster, stabbing it right in the thigh, and cutting the thigh wide open, like cutting into the bone, like making an incision right in it. But the monster grabs Bakugo by the face and chucks him over the pond into a bunch of rocks, bruising his arm, almost breaking it. Deku sprints over there, throwing a shuriken. Now Deku, I forgot to mention this, but Deku has a lot more weapons than just a katana in a hand knife. Now Deku knows he's quirkless, and also it's monsters that have quirks that were better than their original quirks when they were human. So Deku obviously stayed packing. So we got pretty much everything. He got guns, shurikens, pocket knives, katanas. Deku only has one katana though, but Deku runs over there throwing a shuriken at the monster. The monster stands back and throws another, stomp at Deku. Deku dodges it, throwing a grenade right in the monster's face. The monster, bites the grenade in Deku's sparks and jumps into the pond, and the monster's head blows off. Deku gets out of the river as fast as possible, seeing that, the river did help him just a little bit from the explosion. So, Deku, being Deku, basically goes in, gets up, sees Ochaku there, just staring at them both, and walking over to Deku and saying, "Are you okay?" Um, Deku says, "Okay." And now, guys, if you already know, I'm not gonna be shipping Deku with Ochaku, but if you guys want me to, it's up to you. Oh, sorry, guys. So yeah, so basically, Deku walks off and goes into, back to the military base. Now, they think the monster's dead. The monster is technically dead because it has no senses anymore. It doesn't have smell, hearing, or sight anymore, and also doesn't have any type of touching because its body was burnt, so it was basically dead. So Deku and Bakugo go back to their hotel, set up with Ochaku, and we get switched to Todoroki. We get switched to Todoroki dodging attacks from the animal thing or something. I don't know. Pretty much I mean, Todoroki gets the upper hand, grabs the katana, and uses his fire side just one last time. Now, Todoroki knows his fire side thing is just stupid now because, well, it's the apocalypse and he's going to use all of his power. So he grabs his katana and his fire side and engulfs it in flames. Not enough flames to melt the middle, but just to ignite it. So he runs over to the animal, or the monster. The monster goes for a punch. Todoroki dodges it and impels the monster straight in the area, if you know what I mean, guys. So, pretty much, then he yells out in pain, falls onto the ground, and Dabi runs over to the monster, pitting his hands into the monster's face, burning his brains into nothing. They let the monster there, and they start burning it left and right. And now, if you don't know, Sweet Home, the only two ways to kill a monster to take down a monster while they're done transforming and they became a monster is either burn them or decapitate them or you know get rid of their whole entire body in general. So so pretty much that so pretty much Todoroki and Dabi throw the ashes into an ashtray. It pretty much locks it up into a vault just to make sure it doesn't come together. So they pit the vault in a river nearby behind the military base and sinks it down to the ground near the river because they don't want it to come back. They sure as hell it ain't coming back. We know for that. So pretty much Deku walks off. We get switched to Deku in his room in the military base they're staying in, and basically playing um, bouncy ball with himself, throwing the ball left and right, in between the walls. He hears Bakugo, screaming at Chaku, saying that, why did you not do anything? Because now Bakugo, um, our now Bakugo, noticed that Ochaku didn't do nothing. Pretty much, Deku runs over to them and says, "Shut up." Bakugo says, "What did you say to me, nerd?" Deku takes out a pocket knife and pits it up to Bakugo's neck and says, "What did you say to me?" Ochaku sees this happening and says, "Guys, don't fight." And Deku and Bakugo say, "Shut up, Ochaku." Pretty much, Deku and Bakugo about to, go for a fighting brawl, but they hear a knock at their door. Deku's shocked and takes out his katana, and goes for, a slicing motion as he opens the door. He opens the door, he's about to slice, but he sees a pink-haired girl and a black-haired guy with some sort of, weird elbows. And I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. See you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed the What If. Now, guys, the next part 3 is gonna be more focused on Denki and Kirishima's story. But yeah, let's get into it. See you guys later. Bye.